Hello, everybody. My name is Carla Mendoza, and the topic I have chosen for my DVC is the Democratic Republic of Congo. So, basically, a developing country often indicates one facing significant poverty, typically with a low HDI. The DRC has faced ongoing tragedies and systematic issues that are often hidden or downplayed by the government, such as framing local violence as isolated incidents, the blame on foreign visitors, equating some examples are Rwanda and Ugandan. The government blames them to avoid internal government failures. They also restrict reporting and they control all media. Despite being rich in natural resources and known for its agriculture economy, the DRC suffers from instability, conflict, weak governance, and poor infrastructure. The research focuses on two key areas being poverty and inequality. The poverty and inequality examines how a resource-rich country can be extremely poor. The human capital explains especially the importance of education and how limited access affects growth and opportunity. Poverty and inequality. For our first topic, we talk about how the statistics of since 2020 to now. As of 2020, 78.9% of the DRC's population lives below the poverty line of $2.15 a day. So a bag of hot fries at the store costs around $2.99, and these people, more than half of the population, cannot even afford a bag of chips. To put it in perspective, inequality remains high with a Gini index of 42.1 as of 2012, indicating unequal wealth and distribution. Over-reliance on extractive industries makes the economy fragile and dependent on external forces, such as depending on neighboring countries. The weak governance, corruption, and underdeveloped agriculture further hinders the progress. Revenue from global mining operations often does not benefit the local population due to the mismanagement and greed at the top levels, meaning that when people work, they're working for the government's benefit and not for their own, or to be able to provide for their own. Here are some statistics. The inflation is cut off, but as we can see, poverty, it just explains how more than half of the people can only spend $2.15 a day. The unemployment rates are high. This is 19.8 per million. So if you can imagine that is a large number. The benefits and risks of economic potential. The DRC is rich in natural resources like cobalt, copper, and rainforest land. Despite this, those involved in mining remain poor due to low wages and poor working conditions. The country has potential to grow through trade, infrastructure development, and education for its young population. Benefits include foreign direct investment, increased trade, job creation, and help from international institutions like the World Bank, IMF, and the NGOs. These are just organizations that help low-income or countries that are in poverty. The risks include poor regulation, environmental harm, disruption of traditional lifestyles, and increased risk of child labor due to expanded work demands. The more these people demand for their people to work, the more that it is likely that they will send in children to work in those areas. Our human capital is looking like 37% of children reaching unexpected age development by age 18, meaning they're underdeveloped compared to people like, say, in the U.S. at the age of 18. As of 2020, only 61% of the population was employed, many with limited education or skills. The major contributing factors to this are the education, healthcare system, and the economy. For education, they lack a lot of qualified teachers, infrastructures, quality instruction, and conflict causes teachers to flee. So if they're having neighboring problems, it is likely that the teacher to that infrastructure will leave or flee the country. For the healthcare, there's obviously just an inadequate access to clean water. They don't have medical care out there, and their disease control weakens the labor force. They convince the people who live there that the diseases they face are not what they think they are, so they just dismiss the deadly diseases. And for the economy, extreme poverty limits access to learning resources and opportunities. International involvement. Countries like China, the US, and Canada invest in DRC's mining sector, like the cobalt, copper, which provide unstable jobs. Some mining proceeds fund limited projects for schools and clinics. Organizations such as the World NGOs and the World Bank, the NGOs, and the UN offer aid, but impact is minimal due to the scale of the crisis. The risks and challenges and improvement of this are the brain drain, aid inequality, environmental degradation. So for the brain drain, there's educated individuals often leave the country, weakening local institutions. Aid inequality support is often focused on regions with valued resources, neglecting others. Environmental degradation, global demand for resources may further damage the DRC's environment and society. The path to improvement is basically just an overall greater focus and transparency from the government, which is just them telling the truth overall, and then empowering the population through skills and education and key to raising the HCI. Here are some graphs that show that out of 100 adolescent girls, 33 are out of school, out of which 3 never stepped foot in the school, 16 dropped out but are lower secondary, 6 dropped out before upper secondary, and 4 dropped out during upper secondary. And here it just shows the conflict exposure, the political violence, and the global conflict. So to conclude, my thoughts are the DRC faces severe poverty, inequality, and human capital challenges, with most people living on less than $2.15 a day. Economic concepts like scarcity, market equilibrium, and resource maximization were applied to understand these issues. This project overall helped me get a better understanding of how the global struggles and how their country works and runs, and it helped improve my problem solving because it made me find solutions to problems that they are facing. It also gave me a new perspective on the inequality and sparked interest in continue learning about the DRC. Since I have been researching about it, it just made me want to further learn instead of just these 2 topics and go farther than these and research the other topics.